Denox Tech Reviews number 51. Denox reviews DENGEKI BUNKO Fighting Climax for PS3/PS Vita. Hello YouTube, this is Denox speaking once again, and today I'm going to review a fighting game that came for both the PS3 and PS Vita. This game is called DENGEKI BUNKO Fighting Climax. It's a crossover game where characters from different kinds of visual novel animes comes together and fights for their dreams. It celebrates DENGEKI BUNKO's 20th anniversary, making many visual novels. You may recognize some of these characters too. Some of these characters are Kirito and Asuna from Sword Art Online, Kuriyukihime from Axelworld, Kirino from Oremo, Shizuru from Durarara, and Shana from Shakugan no Shana. This is a standard fighting game with only 12 playable characters when you start the game, and 2 more unlockables, which are Akura from Virtual Fighters and Zevaria Bless from the Valkyria Chronicles games. Both of these characters are from Sega, and Sega were the ones that published this particular game. You can unlock Akura by beating arcade mode once, but unlocking Zevaria may prove to be more of a challenge since you also have to complete arcade mode, but in addition to that, you have to finish at least 5 of the 8 rounds with super finishers. Yep, so that's a grand total of 14 playable characters, with it being only 2 more than Aquapaza in the end. The crazy thing about it is that there are more than twice as many support characters. Honestly, some of these support characters seem like they could have been playable characters too, like Holo and Celti. But on the upside, if you are a big fan of most of these anime, if not all of them, these limits wouldn't really bother you all that much. Now let's get on first with the story of this game. The story is simple, where the character you choose is trapped inside some sort of dream world, and some girl with a Sega Dreamcast controller on her head called Genshin requests you to restore the dreams of that world. Basically, some dream doppelganger called Tetsumu transforms into different DENGEKI BUNKO heroes in this game to take you down, being the final envoy of hope. Now let's get on to the gameplay. It's pretty much a standard Japanese 2D fighting game. All the stages you will encounter in this game are all Sega based worlds. There's even a Sonic the Hedgehog stage and a Knight stage as well. You probably know them quite well. You will choose 1 playable character and 1 support character to battle with. Just like Aquapaza, support characters can be summoned by pressing the D button, which is the X button on a PS3 or Vita controller. Support characters each have 2 moves, one for only pressing the X button and the other for half circle analog combination and then pressing the X button. After that, you will have to wait a bit for the support gauge to go back up so you can summon your support again. The A button is for weak attacks, which translates to the square button on a PS3/Vita controller. The same applies for the B to be medium attacks, pressing the triangle button, and the C is for strong attacks, pressing the circle button. Pressing a combination of 2 of the 3 buttons mentioned just now can trigger other more powerful attacks from your character, so feel free to try them out to see the results that you get. When many reviewers just refers attacks as A, B, and C, it is referring to the arcade controls. But obviously you don't have those letter buttons on a PS3 controller, just shape buttons. In order to activate a special move, you will have to activate a combination of halfway circle from left to right, and vice versa on the analog stick, and then pressing the triangle, rectangle, or square button. Climax arts are triggered with a full circle and then a combination of the triangle and circle buttons, also known as the B plus C in arcade. It also consumes 2 stocks from your Climax gauge when activated. The way you gain Climax gauge is rather hitting your opponents for combos and also pressing the R button to gain about 2 full gauge immediately in the beginning of the match. What makes this fighting game unique apart from many others are the character's potentials. Each character has a different effect, like increasing the Climax gauge by 1 if you guard 10 hits, or one that most characters has that increases attack by 20% for 20 seconds if you're 1 loss away from losing. Be sure to check all the characters to see what effects they may have that can benefit your skills. In addition to arcade mode, there is also a dream duel mode that will allow a character to interact and duel against another character. There are 6 battles against different characters that the character you choose can interact with. After completing all 6 battles, you are presented with a trophy, of course. The other battle modes that are presented in this game are mostly what many other fighting games presents, and they are very similar to the Aquapaza mode sections as well. The battle modes are Story, Versus, Network, Ad Hoc, Challenge, and Training. The other 3 modes are Customized, Special, and Options. Let's go over these other battle modes briefly. Versus mode allows you to challenge a computer player, while Ad Hoc allows you to challenge other people that also owns a PS Vita. In other words, against a human player. Network allows you to battle other people around the world via the internet. Challenge allows you to play modes such as score attack, time attack, and survival. And of course, training to practice your button combinations and skills. All these I just mentioned are standards in almost every fighting games in existence. Nothing new, but all must have features. As you pass arcade mode with more characters, you will earn CP, which is money currency of this game. It will permit you to buy character and special icons, banner plates, titles, extra character colors, and even each character's autographs. In the special menu, you can purchase and play character's voice clip and illustration. You can view some of the front covers from the first chapters of each series that Dengeki Bunko are based from, like Sword Art Online and Shakugan no Shana. You can listen to all the music from the game as well in your free time and playback replay data. Options are standard to set how many rounds per fights, difficulty, control modifications, etc. This game also has a cross-save feature that if you own both the PS3 and Vita versions of this game, you can easily transfer the save from the Vita to the PS3 and vice versa. Such a relief to know that you don't have to try to unlock Sevaria 2 times. And now to conclude this game review, I had to purchase this game for the PS Vita because I literally knew more than half of the characters that were presented in this game. I'm a big fan of Toradora, Shakugan no Shana, Axel World, Sword Art Online, Strike the Blood, Durarara, and especially Railgun. Sure, the 14 character selection was a bit lackluster, but if you're also a fan of a lot of these characters and recognize them well, it shouldn't bother you too much. Plus, if you are a huge fighting game fan, this game will not really disappoint you and can help you get by the lack of playable characters in today's standards. I also find it odd that there are more than 2 times more support characters since Aquapazza had the same amount of support characters as playables. A lot of these characters could have been playable too, as I said. The sequel of this game, Ignition, just came out for Japan for PS3, PS4, and PS Vita on December 17, 2015, and has 5 more playable characters and several more supports. I only own the PS Vita version of this game, but when the Ignition gets localized, which hopefully they do, I'm getting the PS3 version for sure. I really enjoyed this fighting game regardless of the limitation that I just said. How awesome is it to have characters like Makoto Misaka from Railgun, sparring against Asuna from Sword Art Online, Kirikihime from Axel World, and Chizuo from Durarara. The music selection of this game is pretty good, and to me is quite memorable, although not the best out there. The 2D graphic sprites combined with a 3D background is quite beautiful and stands well. I always like it that they continue making 2D fighting games like this now and then to always keep that nostalgia feeling when playing it. I'm a huge fan of crossover anime games and enjoyed it more than Aquapazza. This game can also get repetitive, but the controls are great, hardly ever noticing any button delays. If you are a beginner in fighting games, the default difficulties will help you a lot, and you will easily be able to pass arcade mode with little effort. Of course, the last few matches in arcade mode are obviously more difficult than the first ones, but it's a very simple game with simple mechanics for a fighting game that just about anyone can pick up and play. Now to grade this review, I give Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax for the PS3/PS Vita a 7.5 out of 10. If you are a visual novel fan of these anime series and enjoy 2D fighting games, you will most certainly enjoy this game. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check my other previous videos as well and subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And join our new Facebook community called the DenoxSeries Fan Club, where you can meet new people who are into tech, Nintendo, anime, amiibos, and related. See you there!